Hello everyone, my name is J.E. Marie and this is SOL, also called Student of Life, and this episode is a part of our bootcamp series. And today we're going to be talking about how to find the bootcamp that works best for you. Now, when most of us are looking to join a bootcamp, we're looking to find a way to find a software engineer position as quickly as possible. However, today we're actually going to be talking about the best way to find a bootcamp for you, not the quickest. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the very first thing that you should do when it comes to choosing a bootcamp for yourself is assess your individual life needs and your long-term life goals. So this can be in terms of how much money you want to make and what position you want to get to, what do you actually want to be doing, like do you want to work on apps or websites, how would you like to go about this? So that is basically what you would want to sit down and do before you even start looking at boot camps. Okay, so next we're going to start talking about the aspects that you should be looking at when it comes to each of the boot camps that you have presented for you. Now the very first one is time. Do you have the time to devote to a full-time program? If not, there are some boot camps that offer part-time programs. But not every boot camp does do both, so that is something to keep in mind. The next thing that I would think about is money. So each boot camp, most of the boot camps, they do cost a good amount of money. However, most do offer certain kinds of payment plans. So some companies, you don't have to owe them any money until you're actually hired for a job, if in the case that does happen. Some companies, they do offer installments, and others do down payments. However, the idea is that each However, each bootcamp does do something differently, so it is important to talk to the recruiter about these things. The next aspect that we're going to look at is one of the most important in my opinion, and that is the curriculum. Basically, what do you want to code and what do you want to do? This goes back to what do you want to do when it comes to your actual position when you do start to code and when you do start to join a company. Also, it is important because some curriculums are so much more rigorous than others. So you would want to talk to the recruiter about this, but a lot of boot camps have their curriculums not necessarily on display, I don't want to say that, but the actual topics that you'll be learning, they will give that to you up front. Yeah. And so honestly, when it comes to a curriculum, the thing that you would want to be thinking about the most is it going to teach me what I need to know? The last aspect that we're going to talk about when it comes to choosing a boot camp is going to be the contract. Now, some boot camps have in terms of contracts, some boot camps have contracts with other companies where basically after you finish the program, you would be scheduled to be hired for a specific company. However, it may be at a capped pay and at a specific amount of time that you would technically have to serve, in almost like in payment to the company. There are other companies also who will ask you to pay more simply because of where you live in the case that you do get a job. Again, these are things that you'd want to talk about to the recruiter, and obviously I wouldn't think that any of this would be fine line. They're usually very upfront about these things. So yeah, those are all of the aspects when it comes to choosing a boot camp that is right for you. Now, the next thing that we're going to be talking about is what do you do next? Once you decide which one fits just perfectly for you or which one fits your current life situation, next what you would do is go through the application/interview process. Now, for each bootcamp, I did have to apply, which was relatively easy. The next step though was a test. Now, every bootcamp that I went to had a tech and a logic test where basically they want to know how much you know. But there were different boot camps, not every boot camps, that did ask me to do a social-based test where basically they wanted to know how well I would cooperate with other people or how well I would work with other people. And I thought that was interesting because not every boot camp did that. So yeah, there is that. And after you do the test, there is an interview, like a job interview. So it is professional. It is either video over Zoom or it was over the phone. I do know for some boot camps that are in person, you would be doing an in-person interview. So they do try to kind of cater it to be as professional as possible, because you do have to keep in mind that these boot camps, they would be vouching for you for the companies that you'd be joining, because you would be saying, hey, I went to this boot camp, this is where I got all my knowledge from. So they would want to ensure that before you let them in, you are actually, they want to have faith that you would be more likely to actually get the job. So yeah, today we just talked about assessing your individual life needs, how to do that in terms of choosing a boot camp, and we talked about the application and interview process. So if I left anything out, please go ahead and leave it down below. But other than that, thank you for watching, everyone, and I hope you have a beautiful day.